So we're going to talk about an injury. This is actually the one that knocked me out of the London Olympics that a lot of people get and deal with. And that is, I'm going to get up and show you guys specifically. It's your upper hamstring, like where it connects to the bone that you sit on basically here. That's the technical name, right? But it's just this upper hamstring where it connects. And so I want to give you guys a few tips on how to work through that. The first one is just rolling it. This is not rocket science, but getting yourself a ball and just spending a lot of time just trying to roll that sucker out. Because what happens with this one, and what happened to me, is you get scar tissue in there and it gets really deep. So ideally, if you can go see someone that can do some grafting in there, that'd be really helpful, because it is pretty deep in there. So it can be difficult to get in there with a ball, but it definitely is helpful to get on a ball as well. But ideally, go see someone who can grasp in there and get really deeply in there is helpful. So that's one thing on that. The other thing that is really helpful with that upper hamstring injury is strengthening. So it's gonna hurt when you first attempt to strengthen this, and I'm just gonna tell you 2 different exercises that are helpful for this. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty getting me into the proper position here. I think it's because of my current situation going on here. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna represent. Actually, this is good though, because for some of you guys, you're gonna do this position that I'm gonna show you here in a second, and it's gonna be really hard on your shoulders, and your shoulders are gonna like give out before your hamstrings and glute. And we don't want that, so you can actually grab a roller like I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna throw it straight back behind me, or put it on my shoulders. So I got the roller back on my shoulders, and now I'm just gonna come up here. Okay. So that's the position I want you in. Planking on your back, and notice my glutes tucked under me, turned on, flexed hard, but I'm really feeling it in my upper hamstring area. Okay, so you're gonna start with double leg, and if you don't want to use this roller, you can put your elbows back on the ground. So anyways, coming up here, start with double leg, hold for 30 seconds, or go to failure, better yet, and then go back down, rest for 30 seconds, come back up, go to failure, do that 5 times, do that 2 or 3 times a day, and that's a good starting place, okay? Now if you want to make that more challenging, you can come up, and then you're gonna go single leg, okay? And this, when you go to single leg, is really when you're gonna feel it really hit that upper hamstring area, and it's gonna hurt. Like, so this right hamstring is the one I hurt in the Olympics, and when I come up on one, I can still feel that. But a certain amount of discomfort is okay when doing injury strengthening. What we're looking for is more like, how does it feel the day after? Does it feel better? Does it feel worse? Does it seem like that really irritated it? And if that's the case, then maybe it's too soon to start strengthening. Usually with injuries, like you get this upper hamstring thing, there's an acute phase where you want to let it sit for approximately a week, and then after it's been through that acute phase, that's when you want to start the strengthening. So single legs, just coming up, doing reps to failure. So I'm feeling that hamstring. Make sure you do both sides, even if you're not hurt on both sides. Go to failure, come back down, rest 30 seconds. I actually give it more than 30 seconds. Let's give it like a minute and then go again. In 4 sets, 2 to 3 times per day. And like I said, just go off feel, how it's responding. And then the other exercise you can do is we have the video on 3-way hip. So the one where we have the pulley with the weights, you have the strap attached to your ankle there, and you're pulling straight back. So you're feeling, you know, if you imagine the pulley being out in front of you here, you're pulling back against the weight. That's another good one to kind of isolate that upper hamstring area where you're feeling the pain. So yeah, hope that's helpful in dealing with upper hamstring pain.